For Game 5. Let's show you what happened. Look, my man's got a bad knee, but Steph's got too much handle anyway. Warriors extend their lead one more time. Steph from Draymond, they're up 6. Ensuing Celtics possession, Al Horford in the corner. That was the Celtics' only points over the final 5 minutes of this game. Steph, Draymond, Looney. Steph goes for 43 points, 10 rebounds. Those 43 points, 4 shy of his personal best in the finals, and they even the series at 2-2 with a 107-97 win. Now, Steph is also now the second oldest player in finals history to record at least 40 points and 10 rebounds in the game, trailing only LeBron during his finals run in the bubble 2 years ago. The only other players to do it at age 33 are older Hall of Famers, Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But now this series tied 2-2, it goes back to the Bay.
The second half was just a brilliant display of, grit, physicality, IQ, some big shots, and that championship DNA that we had to dig deep and find. And to win on the road, 27 straight series where we won on the road, and to go back home 2-2, it means everything.
Steph obviously doesn't normally show a lot of emotion, but a night like tonight warranted it.
He wasn't letting us lose. That's just what it boils down to. And, you hear all the noise for a day or so. And, I could tell in his demeanor last couple of days, even after Game 3, that he was going to come out with that type of fire, and he did, and we were all able to follow it.
I think I have seen him show that much emotion, and the heart on that man is incredible. The things he does, we kind of take for granted from time to time, but to go out there and put us on his back, and we got to help him out on Monday.
All right, let's flip it to the Celtics for a minute because, again, they were outscored 15-0 in clutch time, and we define clutch time as the final 5 minutes of a game when the score is within 5 points. That minus 15-point differential is the worst in any finals game over the last 25 seasons. Boston, 0 for 5 on threes during that span. Ime Udoka, what say you?
You'd like to take the easier route, and we had our chances, like I said, but it's not only solely dependent on one team. It's obviously a championship caliber opponent that isn't going to lay down and made some tough shots, but also guarded well at the end. And so, as much as we'd like to do better in our own, you got to give them credit for how they stepped up defensively. And Miami is a team that we went and did it against, and so we've proven we can do it. And being down 2 games, 2 elimination games in Milwaukee, so it's proof that we can do it. And the opponent is what it is. It's really a lot to do with us, and that's how we feel about the game tonight for sure.
We don't do this on purpose. I promise you, we don't. We trying as hard as we can, but we do, there's certain things that we got to clean up, obviously, turnovers, movement on the offensive end. Would we have liked to win today and be at 3-1? That would have been the best case scenario, but it's a new series. So the best of 3.
I know you're focused on the players, but I want to talk coaching a little bit because people have been praising Udoka and Kerr getting a bit of criticism, which rarely ever happens. So what adjustments do the Warriors need to make, coaching included?
I think, number one, they need to guard the hell out of the ball. I think it starts with just their defensive tenacity in guarding the ball. There were so many blow-bys in Game 3. It was alarming and it was concerning. So, look, are they going to target Steph? Yeah, but like Pat Bev said, you're in the trenches, time to man up and guard the ball. So I think that comes number one. I think number two, offensively, I'm going to say I think they need to play faster. I think Draymond, even after made shots, push the ball and try to get some chippies. Now, I know that there are rim protectors at the rim, right, for guys like Robert Williams and Al Horford, who's around the rim as well. But if you can play faster, I think that gets Draymond involved in the game more. I think that gets more open shots for Clay. And I think for pick and rolls, it gets you into your action faster. And the more I can get Steph involved in pick and rolls, if Boston wants to stay in drop coverage, that gets him going offensively, and that gets the momentum of our team offensively.
Yeah, I like what you said in the beginning. And I also like, obviously they have to contain the ball. We all seen that. But even if you contain the ball, you got to rebound it. Mm-hmm. The Warriors are the best when they're in transition. But you can't get in transition if you're steady taking the ball out the net. Even if you want to take the ball out the net and play fast, the defense is still matched up. I think they have to do a better job at rebounding. But that goes to now a coach's decision. Are you going small lineup with Draymond at the 5, or are you going Looney and Draymond at the 4? Because now you do that, that presents different opportunities offensively for you as a unit also. So, but Steve Kerr, he's a champion. He's been a champion as a player. He's a champion as a coach. You know, he's been here before. He's been down before. I see him making all of the necessary adjustments, so I'm not really worried about that.
For me, it comes down to this, fellas. You know, we sit here and we dissecting the game and what needs to happen or whatever. Let's be clear about something. The Warriors know what they need to do. Mm-hmm. The question is, can they do it?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Can they do it? Because it would be one thing, like, for example, from a schematic perspective, I just think that Jonathan Kuminga, the Moses Moody's of the world, you need to find a way to insert them in the game to make sure your boys, your main brothers, are ready and fresh come the fourth quarter. You got to insert these brothers in there. If you've got athleticism and length on your bench, damn it, find a way to use it, because Jaylen Brown's like 25 years old. Jason Tatum's like 24 years old. I mean, the brothers are young. And then you look at White and Smart, and these ain't old heads, my man. These brothers, they've got legs, they've got youth, they've got athleticism, they've got further, they've got energy. You've got to find a way to match that, which to me is why Steve Kerr should be playing a couple of those young guys. Outside of that, it's really about, can you do it against these boys? Are you just an inferior team, and this is just a bad matchup that you can't overcome? That's really what this comes down to now.
Nah, come on, Steve, bro. I don't think that. I don't think that, man.
There's a bad matchup.
No, they've been up game one. Boston came back. They won it. They won by double digits this past game 2. They were down double digits game 3. Came back, took lead. They've been in control of the game. They just let it slip. So I don't think this is a type of team where they're waking up like, man, we can't beat them. I think this is a type of team like, man, we need to do just a little bit more here. We need to do a little bit more there. Stay calm, get the best Draymond, rebound the ball, and we put ourselves in a position to be champions again.
Well, PB, a lot of that starts with Draymond, right? I mean, you talk about Boston being plus 16 on the boards. You talk about points in the paint, 50 to 20. I mean, they got dominated, right? So if you are going to go with that small lineup, you need the energy level of Draymond to be off the charts tonight to manufacture that type of rebounding for your team if you are going to play small.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they like the small lineup. They're used to it. They've been doing it for years. I just don't know if this small lineup works with Boston.
Before we move on, let me ask you this, and I can't stop staring at your wrist. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah. Shout out to my girl.
I mean, she hooked it up.
Yeah, she always does.
She hooked it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed. No wonder. Yeah, it's extra nice. I mean, it is.
I see her steady staring.
You know what I like?
I see her staring over here.
Pat Bev, you know what I like? Your girl lit your wrist up.
Yeah.
And rather than vice versa, she did it.
Yeah, she did.
That's nice.
Yeah, a little Bugatti, you know.
Okay, I'm with it. All right, now I'm refocused.
I don't know about the gold. I don't know about the gold mixing with the ice.
No, it's just diamonds.
It's
That's the thing.
diamonds. Diamonds go with everything.
Get a zoom in. Come on, guys. Don't do it like that.
You don't need anything but diamonds.
Diamonds.
You're good.
All diamonds.
You could just go diamonds.
Yeah.
All right, I'm focused though. Let me ask you this, okay? And it's not because I'm feeling myself because I picked the Celtics. Go ahead, Stephen A.
I said, all I was saying is, it's not like I'm unfamiliar with the drip game.
Do you want to pop out your 2 chains? Because we got 2 chains right here. Sometimes he pops it out a little bit, but only in LA.
Okay, I got to see it.
He keeps it tucked on the East Coast. All right, let me ask you this, though. So you all picked the Warriors, all right? I had the Celtics in 6. I just want to ask you, if we were going to do this over, now with what you've seen through 3 games, in all seriousness, do you think you would have picked this series differently?
No.
So you still have the Warriors?
Still have the Warriors. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know about that.
Sorry about the man part.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm feeling old today anyway. It's all
I hope for the sake of making my pick for Golden State that I'm correct, but the more and more I watch, like in the trenches, like I want to give credit to Boston, even though a lot of people feel like, well, Golden State's always been in control of the game. I say, well, have they? Because Boston has found ways to win in the trenches, and that deserves praise from me. It feels like almost, has Golden State been battle tested over the last couple of months in the playoffs when you look at who they've had to go through? And, yeah, they won these series, but I'm like, damn, Boston's been through KD and Kyrie. They've been through Giannis, who's playing like the best player in basketball. A Miami Heat team that defends better than any other team in the league alongside Boston. So, like, I don't know, like that trench experience, I think is coming out right now against the Golden State Warriors.
A lot has been made of Draymond Green's struggles in Game 3. 6 fouls and just 2 shots. Some blame the Boston crowd getting to him. Some brought up his podcast. But I'll let Draymond speak for Draymond.
I'm always going to do whatever I can for my teammates. I think that's just my MO. That's who I've always been. In saying that doesn't excuse my play, and how poorly I played last night. But, yeah, I mean, I'll continue to be that guy no matter what. I try not to get caught up in all the stuff that happens around me or that for that matter. But, yeah, I've always been that guy, and that won't change now.
Okay. Stephen A. How pivotal is tonight's game for how we look at Draymond Green?
It's pivotal to some degree, but it's really about how this series ends. And you see how he played in the series, not one game. What I would say to you about this, and Bev knows this, and Jay knows this, who the hell doesn't respect Draymond Green? He's a 3-time champion. He's been in the finals now 6 times. He's a defensive catalyst for the team. We know what he brings to the table. He's going into the Hall of Fame. Dennis Rodman in the Hall of Fame. Draymond Green is going to the Hall of Fame. We know this, okay? We understand all of that. And we know that, his basketball IQ is very high. And we know that he's all about being that Energizer Bunny. What makes this finals different than anything that we've seen from Draymond before. Back in the day, we worried about him with the officials. We're still worrying about him with the officials, and we get that. The flip side is that we heard Draymond say that he wasn't ready Game 1. He needed to do better. And then we heard him say he needed to do better after Game 3. That's 2 games in an NBA Finals series where Draymond is saying, I didn't show up. We haven't seen that before. And so because he's admitted that, and because he's acknowledged what we've all seen. Now you got people looking at his age. You got people wondering how much he has left. You've got people wondering about his focus. Not me. I got no issue with his focus. He could have his podcast. He could do. I support all of these guys trying to do something. To prepare themselves for when their playing career's over. Ain't nobody say a damn thing about the fact that Tom Brady already signed for damn near $30 million a year, even though he gonna play football. So we want to celebrate him, but we want to lament when the brothers are trying to get paid outside of the sport. Y'all kick rocks. I'm all for the brothers get paid. Do whatever you can within legal means to get yours. You damn right, but you got to do your job. You got to do your job. And what Draymond has said for the first time is that he's not doing his job. And that cannot continue. Golden State loses this series arguably because of it, and people are not going to look at Draymond differently. That's the difference between now and anything he's been through in the past.
Reputation. Everyone knows what Draymond's bringing to the game. Everyone knows, how he plays in transition, his playmaking ability. His ability to rebound and push, his attitude, culture changer. I don't think one game, changes his reputation. I mean, if they're able to win the series and win a championship with this Golden State team, and Draymond has not played up to where he needs to play, I mean, I think that plays into Draymond's hand. I think if they fall short, Wiseman comes back next year. Draymond Green plays well better with Wiseman. I think that works into Draymond. So I don't think one game hurts his reputation. I think he's going to come out and play well. I mean, he's one of those type of guys that responds well to criticism. Yeah.
Stephen A., I probably have to agree with you on that. And we, like you said before, you properly articulated that he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Nobody's questioning that at all. But for me, like the way he's played 2 out of these 3 games with recognizing and stating that the first game and then the third game saying he played like bleep. Look, for me, it's not about playing bad. It's about effort-wise. He knows the impact he needs to have on tonight's game, right? So we've seen the impact at the highest level of what he could have in game 2. And I get it. Like, I'm sitting across the table from one of the best to ever do it, mucking it up, learn how to come at people from different angles, getting rebounds, not having Boston be plus 16, really fighting, scraping, clawing, not focus so much more on the refs. Tonight's a signature moment opportunity, I think, for him once again to prove that he still is the soul and the spirit of this team. We all know that he is. But in the biggest moments, this is where you want to see this soul be more powerful than it's ever needed to be before, because they need for it to be. The same reason we're looking maybe to Steph to elevate his game off this ankle, or Clay, you're looking for answers. The soul aspect of the Golden State Warriors needs to be personified and elevated tonight. And the world knows it, and we'll see if Draymond Green can rise to that occasion.
And I think he will. I know he will. His demeanor, his upbringing, he's that type of person. So we have a lot of confidence in Draymond, but he does need to play well, extremely well, for them to win a championship.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.
Steph Curry has been carrying the Warriors' big 3 in these finals. He's outscoring Clay and Draymond, making nearly half his shots. Thompson has the 4th worst percentage through the first 3 games of a finals, and Green's struggles have been well documented.
We have to realize that time is not on our side anymore. Treat tomorrow as a must-win. Even though it's not a closeout game, it's still incredibly important to get one here. That was our goal the whole time, and they just outplayed us game 3. I mean, there's no way around it. And we're gonna, the best part about the playoffs is how you respond, and never underestimate the heart of a champion, and we have a lot of those.
All right, Jay, well, you just heard Clay say time's not on our side anymore. Do you think the title window is closing on the Warriors' big 3?
Yes, it's closing. They're getting. I would still give them probably another 2 years or so. But obviously, I think the health of Klay Thompson and is he able to sustain that healthiness is a question, considering he's had 2 injuries that have been devastating injuries. We've seen Steph deal with injuries throughout the course of his career, in particular 2 this year. The one he just had to his ankle, the one that he had to his ankle before against the Celtics and Marcus Smart that held him out for a period of time. Draymond Green has had back issues. I know we can factor health into a lot of teams, but as his team gets older, even though Jordan Poole has continued to ascend, and I do like their pieces of Wiseman and Kuminga, I just wonder how long Steph and Klay can sustain. But I would probably say, Stephen A., it's safe to say if you had a 2-year window that this team can go for it again. But I will tell you, there are other teams in the Western Conference coming. We talk about what the Pelicans can be. If you add Zion, you had C.J. McCollum, who now works with us. You see them in their swing up. You've seen Dallas. If they add a piece, the Clippers are going to be a team that's going to be there. Memphis is going to be a team that's going to get better. There are teams that are going to push them and push the envelope. But I say another 2 years is safe to say the window's open.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about the Warriors at all. I've already got them penciled in for next year's conference finals with ease. I'm not concerned, not even a little bit. The fact of the matter is, when Wiseman comes back, you're anticipating that Kuminga will continue to develop along with Moody. Poole is there. He's in his 20s. Okay, Kuminga's 19. Moody's 19. Wiseman's about 21 or so, however old he is. Okay, so I'm looking at those 4 guys right there. I'm looking at Klay and Steph, but I don't worry about age with them as much as everybody else because they're marksmen. See, with somebody like a Russell Westbrook, whose success is predicated on an extreme and elevated level of athleticism, that's different. With Klay and Steph, not so much because they're shooters. And so what I mean by that is, no, Jay, are they going to average 30 or 28 a game? No, that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about you can pencil Steph and Klay in for 20 a night with ease over the next several years because they're shooters. And when you're shooters, it's about what you surround them with. So to me, it's about Bob Myers, it's about Joe Lacob, it's about Steve Kerr and the crew, assembling a squad that takes pressure off these guys to be so much physically, so they have the freedom to shoot without having so much of a load placed on their shoulders. If this was back years ago and we're saying what the window is, I would tell you that's closing because Steph and Klay are not getting any younger. There's teams on the come up, and obviously your success is primarily predicated on that. But when you've got these other cats that can make contributions, that could give you solid quality minutes, and then you pair them with Draymond, Klay, and Steph from a leadership perspective and obviously from a marksmanship perspective, I like Golden State's chances for at least the next 3 years. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, see, I'm with you on 2 to 3 years. Like, I think what they've done with how they've developed talent and how you have Jordan Poole, we'll see how they continue to develop Kuminga, Moses Moody. You talk about Wiseman. Wiseman is talented. He is long, he is athletic, and Draymond Green looks different.
People keep forgetting that.
Exactly. When there's height on the floor, that doesn't force him to be the primary five position. Like, it changes the scheme of how they play. But there are other teams knocking on the door in the Western Conference, so Stephen A. There are. They're coming.
Listen. If you want to tell me the Clippers, fine, because that's Paul George and that's Kawhi Leonard and with Ty Lue as their coach. You want to talk to me about that, I'm all ears. When we look at everybody else scouring the Western Conference, the bottom line is they're all looking for that next dude. Dallas has got to find him. Minnesota's got to develop him. Denver has to hope dudes are healthy next year. We assume they'll be, but they've been going for a while themselves. You've got a lot of question marks. I'm saying the Golden State Warriors, with these veterans, when they were younger, albeit 5, 6, and 7 years ago, remember, they had the Zsa Pachulias and the Andrew Bogut's as their center. Not to disqualify them by any stretch. They were rim protectors. They could rebound. They were big bodies that could make a difference. Wiseman can ball. And this notion that Draymond Green is just going to fade and he's not going to benefit from having a guy like that at his disposal, you know what? That's something that I don't think that we should ignore. We got to keep our eyes on Kevon Looney because he played lights out in the Dallas series. But at the end of the day, I think it was Dallas or Memphis. But the bottom line is this. You look at him, he's devoid of athleticism. He doesn't rim protect. He does rebound. He knows the system. He's absolutely loved and adored by Steve Kerr. But you're going to need some athleticism on your front line. One of those people they already have in James Wiseman. I'm not worried about the Warriors